Okay, so step 1, line up the numbers, not the decimals. Step 2, multiply like the decimals are not there. So multiply like there are no decimals. Multiply like they are whole numbers. So let's say I give you guys this example down below. I say 4.5 times 0.23. Doesn't matter which one goes on top and which one goes on bottom. No, you can put any number on top, any number on bottom. My rule of thumb is always this. The one that has the more numbers goes on top. The one that has the less numbers go on bottom. How many numbers does 4.5 have? 2. We're going to pretend the 0 is not here. How many numbers does 0.23 have? 2. So does it really matter which one goes on top and which one goes on bottom in this case? So I'm just going to write 4.5 on top times 0.23. Notice, I lined up my numbers. Did I line up those decimal points at all? No. I have a decimal here and a decimal here. They are not lined up. Do not line up those decimal places. Line up the numbers. Now let's multiply like those decimals are not here. So the 3. 3 times 5 is? 5 goes down, 1 goes up. 3 times 4 is? What is it, everyone? 12. 12 plus 1 is? 15. Now I'm done with this 3, so if you cross it out, if that's something you guys learned, you can use it. I'm done with the 3. What do I have to do now? I gotta add that 0 under that 5 because I'm moving over. I have to add a 0. If I forget that 0, my answer is automatically wrong. So what is 2 times 5? 10. So I put a 0, put a 1 up top. 2 times 4 is? 8. Plus 1 is? 9. And what do I do with these numbers? 5 plus 0 is? 5. 3 plus 0 is? 3. 9 plus 1 is? 10. Any questions so far? Okay, now I need to place my decimal. How do I know where to place my decimal, Caitlin?
You count the numbers behind the decimal and both the numbers.
Perfect. I look at both my numbers and I figure out how many numbers are behind that decimal. So 4.5, how many numbers are there? 1. I have 1 number. 0.23, how many numbers do I have?
2.
So how many numbers do I have behind my decimal altogether?
3.
So how many numbers do I have to have behind my decimal in my answer? 3. So I start at the back, because there's my decimal point, and I want 3 numbers behind it. So it goes, that's 1 number, that's 2 numbers, that's 3 numbers. So my answer is what? 1.035. Because I have 3 numbers behind my decimal. So let's write down step 3. Step 3 is count the numbers behind the decimal. You gotta count the numbers behind the decimal. In this case, there were 3. You have to count it on both numbers. So let's write that down. Both numbers, not just one. It has to be on both of them. If you only count them on one, you will get it incorrect. Step 4, your final step. Place the decimal point. So there are that many numbers behind it. If I need 2 numbers after my decimal, I need 2 numbers after it. If there are 3, there are 3. 4, 4. 5, 5, so forth and so on. Questions? Lindsay.
Even if there is the same amount of numbers behind the decimal point, do you still add them together?
Yes. Yes, you will always add them together no matter how many there are. Great question. So I'm going to put a little plus sign there so we know we add those together. Okay, we're going to do just a couple more practice problems in our notebook, but obviously there's no room right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my next page. I'm going to write multiplying decimals up at the top. In today's date, which is 11/7. Alright, let's try this one. Example 1. 8.7 times 2.8. Does it matter which one I put on top and which one I put on bottom? No. So if it doesn't matter, just put the first one on top. If it does not matter, put that 8.7 and then times 2.8. Remember, you are lining up the numbers. We are not lining up the decimals. In this case, do we happen to line up the decimals? Is that okay? Absolutely. So multiply like there are no decimal points there, guys. Eight times 7 is what? 56. Put that 6 down. The 5 goes up. 8 times 8 is? 64 plus 5 is? 69. I'm going to cross out that 5 and I'm going to cross out that 8 because I'm done with them. I've used them. Now what? Good. What do I have to add first? First, add that 0 below the 6. Notice how nice, neat, and organized my work is, right, guys? If we don't keep this organized, do you think we might mess up somewhere? Absolutely. 2 times 7 is what? What is it?
14.
4 goes down, 1 goes up. 2 times 8 is? 16 plus 1 is?
17.
What do I do with these numbers? Good, add them together. 6 plus 0 is? 6. 9 plus 4 is? 3 goes down, 1 goes up. 1 plus 6 is? 7, and 7 plus 7 is? 4 goes down, 1 goes up. 1 plus 1 is
2.
Guys, dry erase markers should not be being played with right now. Questions? How do I know where to put my decimal point? How do I know, Lindsay?
You count the numbers behind the decimal point and then you add them together.
Good. How many numbers are behind my decimal points, everyone?
2.
Good. I have 1 here, 1 here. That makes 2. So how many numbers do I need behind my decimal point in my answer? I need 2. So what should my answer be, everyone? 24.36 or 24 3/3600. Okay, what if I give you one like this? Example 2. .4 times 21.3. Which one should go on top in this case?
21.3.
Why would I put 21.3 on top? Not because it has the most numbers. Has nothing to do with it being bigger, but it has the more numbers. This has 2 numbers, this has 3. Always put the number that has the most amount of digits on top. So 21.3 times 6.4. Everyone multiply that together for me. Alright, I'm going to start going over this with you guys. 4 times 3 is?
12.
What is it, everyone?
12.
2 goes down, 1 goes up. 4 times 1 is?
4.
Plus 1 is?
5.
4 times 2 is?
8.
What do I need to add?
0.
I'm going to get rid of my 4 and my 1 because I already used them. 6 times 3 is? 8 goes down, 1 goes up. 6 times 1 is?
6.
Plus 1 is?
7.
6 times 2 is?
12.
What do I do now?
Add them up.
2 plus 0 is?
2.
5 plus 8 is?
13.
3 goes down, 1 goes up. 1 plus 8 is?
9.
9 plus 7 is?
16.
6 goes down, 1 goes up. 2 plus 1 is?
3.
And you just bring down that 1. What about my decimal point? How do I know where that goes, Peyton?
You count how many numbers are after the decimal.
And how many numbers are after my decimal?
2.
Does everyone see where this 2 is coming from? So how many numbers do I need after the decimal in my answer, everyone?
2.
So what's my answer going to be?
136 and 300.
Questions?